may prove that the gods of Egypt were more flesh and blood than ever imagined. But could these strange beings have been visitors from another world?
A lot of believers feel that that is evidence that they were visited. That is evidence that they knew more then than we know now about life out there in the universe.
The pyramids. What many would call impossible structures. The pyramids may be man's greatest early feat of engineering. But was the feat accomplished by mankind alone?
You can see examples of this all over the globe, but the most impressive and fascinating is the Great Pyramid at Giza.
The Great Pyramid of Giza was partially constructed using 130 granite blocks that each weighed between 12 and 70 tons. Each massive piece was nearly impossible to move with sheer manpower alone, and yet each one was transported incredible distances.
These large stones of granite were hauled 500 miles away to build the Great Pyramids of Egypt. They needed to be hoisted over 240 feet into the air by the time they reached their capstone. So how did any race do this and accomplish this, especially when they came 2,000, 3,000 years before the time of Jesus?
According to historians, the Great Pyramid took only 20 years to construct. If true, workers would have had to quarry, craft, and fit a multi-ton block every 2.5 minutes.
That's an amazing feat, even when you're talking about 21st century technology. So how did the ancient Egyptians do it? Really, the only answer to that you could come up with that makes sense today is they had help. They had to have had help. How could the human race do this by themselves?
The degree of accuracy found in the pyramid's construction also indicates a higher intelligence.
The positioning of the pyramid is absolutely precise. It points due north within 0.05 of a degree. No other structure on Earth has that kind of precision.
Constructed with what the Egyptians referred to as sacred geometry, the pyramids are said to have once been polished to reflect sunlight, enough to be visible from space. But what was the purpose of such a beacon? And could the answer be buried within this sacred geometry?
The equations and the mathematics required to have figured that out were so advanced that only someone looking at the Earth from the sky or from space would have figured out the mathematics of the Great Pyramid.
Analysis indicates that the height of the Great Pyramid, when multiplied by 1 billion, measures the average distance of the Earth from the Sun. The full base circumference of the Great Pyramid is a near-to-scale match for the circumference of the Earth at the equator.
When you take all this into consideration, how did the Egyptians get all this advanced information? It was way beyond the technology of ancient Egypt and way beyond the civilization itself. That's why many ancient alien theorists believe that ancient Egypt was actually in part an ancient extraterrestrial civilization.
If extraterrestrial intelligence influenced these great structures, it implies that alien beings may have felt a kinship with mankind. Otherwise, why did they leave behind the Great Pyramid or the structure that could explain to us where they came from? The Sphinx. At 66 feet high and 240 feet in length, it is the largest monolith statue in the world. And within it is a secret that may prove that the structures of ancient Egypt did not originate from our planet.
The Great Sphinx contains a number of mysteries beyond our understanding, but the greatest of which is right on its surface.
In 1991, geologists from Boston University discovered erosion and weather patterns on the Sphinx that date its construction thousands of years before the existence of the Egyptian civilization.
then that means that the Sphinx would predate the Egyptian culture by thousands of years. If the Egyptians didn't build the Sphinx, then who or what did?
Coming up next, a chilling possibility is revealed by NASA. These great structures may not be from Earth at all, and the photographs that could prove it will shock the world. When we return, this is Unsealed Alien Files.